G'day, it's Roger here from We Build Sites, and we're going to talk about today 3 quality article writing tips for more web traffic to your website. All right, so a lot of business owners always ask me about what kind of things they need to keep in mind for their blog posts or their articles. And I just like to give them these 3 tips. The first 2 are basically to do with SEO, and the last one is just sort of just a bit more generic kind of tip to talk about the long-term strategy of how things work in the content marketing world. So, I think one of the most effective ways of free advertising, you got to remember content marketing is free, right? So anything you do on the internet will always be a good thing in the future for you. You got to think of articles as something that's going to be, it's your business card, it's your dynamic business card to tell your thoughts of the world, and it's on your website. So just remember that. So rather than always putting all your stuff on, on Facebook or Insta, you really want to put your articles. You really want to put your articles on your website, right? On your website, and I call it We Build Sites because that's my business. We Build Sites. All right, so I teach people obviously how to build their own websites, but we also build your website if you don't want to build your own. Okay, so that we're going to get into the first tip then, right? So the first tip is let's just rub this stuff out. The first tip is basically around your article length. Now, there's always a lot of people that say, "Hey, you've got to be a sort of it's got to be like a long article," and there's other people that like short form. So to me, it all depends on your target audience and your target market, right? So if you think that you're targeting scientific people, technical, like highly technical people, then long form might be acceptable. But in this day and age, a lot of topics, a lot of niches, I think people would prefer to either watch a video, number one, or two, basically read a short form article. All right. So tip number 1 is basically, I think for short form articles, you're wanting around about 300 to 500 words. Okay, that's enough. Now for long form, you want around about anywhere between, I think, 700 to 2,000 words. Okay, so that's your tip number 1. Now you got to remember, if you're creating quality content, this here would be easy to do if you're creating quality content. If you're creating quality content, well, it's a little bit more challenging. It's going to take a lot longer. All right, so this could take well over 2 hours, whereas this you could probably get it done in between 1 to 2 hours. If you really know your topic, obviously you don't really need to research a lot. These are generally, once again, 2+ hours and require a little bit more research probably. Okay, so just bear that in mind, right, for your target audience. Okay, all right, so that's the first tip. Now, the second tip is, we'll talk a bit about keyword density now. All right, so keyword density, what I mean by that is that if you want to be found by the search engines, so tip number 2, if you want to be found by the search engines, then you're going to need to know a little bit about keywords. Now, keywords are simply what 2, 3 to 4 letter combinations of words do you think your target audience are looking for when they search engines such as Google, Yahoo, Bing. All right, what are they typing in? All right, now you need to think of this from the customer's point of view. All right, so you got to think of what the customer is typing into the search engine. All right, now the reason being is because somehow you're going to have to incorporate those keywords into your article. All right, so these keywords need to go into your article. Now, the way you would put them in is that, like, there used to be a day and age where people would just keyword stuff. So, there'd be like in every 100 words, there'd be, the keyword would appear 5 or 6 times. I don't think that's a very good idea anymore because Google's quite smart these days and they know when people are spamming or people are just trying to keyword stuff. So we need to be a little bit smart about things. So the way you would split the article up is you've got your intro, okay, you've got your body, all right, and then you've got your conclusion. Okay, so you'd probably have your keyword once in your intro. Okay, one time. No more than 1 to 2 times in your body, and then one final time in your conclusion. Okay, now that's how you would put your so let's say your body was 600 words. You still only need to have your keyword in there 1 to 2 times. All right, so and the other thing is with your article, with your blog, is you got to remember you got to write a title. Okay, so make sure your keyword is also once in your title. All right, so one time in your title. Okay, and that's pretty much it. You don't need much more than that. All right, so remember, an article of about 500 to 600 words, you wouldn't have it more than 3 times plus your title, so 4 max. All right, so that's your tip number 2, and we're now going to go on to tip number 3. So the last 2 tips are a little bit more about getting found on search engines. All right, and there is other ways to get found on search engines. There are other things that could be you could add, but I guarantee you they're the main things. Keywords and also your article length is also important. There's a few other things, but they're the main things, right? So the last thing I would suggest is something we call, keep your audience. Keep your audience tip number 3. So interested. So keep your audience interested. Interested. Sorry, not the best speller. So how do you do that? You tell a story. Small story, doesn't have to be huge. So you can see in this article, all I did was told a story about how I used to write. I used to write articles 10 years ago in internet marketing, and it used to make me a decent amount of money online. Now it's a little bit harder just to make money just via article marketing, but I still have articles that are out there that were written years and years ago that provide me sales. Okay, so that's, write a story that keeps people interested. All right, and then the other thing is to make sure is to promote. Okay, so promote your article. Now, what do I mean by promote? So you would probably be on at least 2 social media channels. All right, so promote your article on 2 social media channels. That'll also give you backlinks to your article. All right, so that will help boost your article. So make sure you promote your article. All right, and they're the main things that you really got to focus on. Right, make it interesting, promote your article, and finally, and I think this one's important. Try not to write. In this day and age, not everyone's the best at English. So I just write naturally. All right. Okay, you have to have some level of English skills, right? When you're writing an article, if you're targeting English people, if you're targeting another language, then you have a skill in that language, right? But write naturally. So write as if I would be talking to the person in front of me. Okay, so you can use I's, you can use you, you can use you. That's the way. To write naturally as if you're speaking to the person and trying to help that person. All right, I think that's the best. They're the best 3 quality article writing tips I can give you, at least just to get going. And for sure, that's going to give you more traffic in the long run. You've always got to remember, article writing, content marketing is a long-term strategy. All right, so have that psychology in mind. That one article, one article a day, 1 to 2 articles a week over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years of your business, right, can equal anywhere between 50, 50 to 100 articles out there promoting you per year. All right, now if you times that by 2 to 5 years, well, obviously it's going to be in the hundreds. All right, so, and that's going to be a great little long-term, long-term marketing strategy. Okay. All right, so always remember it's long-term. All right, that's it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, just chuck in your details down below and you can sign up for my free web course. Have a great day. Bye-bye.